Hello, thank you so much for joining our session so you're still working towards your degree and want to be a CPA. Over the next few minutes, I'll be sharing more information on our admission requirements, our course schedules, when to begin the process, and what we'll need from you. The CPA Professional Education Program, also known as PEP, is a part-time online professional training program that is designed with working professionals in mind. Although it's not mandatory to be working full-time when you begin PEP, the program is very flexible and is designed to allow you to begin your career so that you can put what you're learning in the classroom into practice in the workplace. The professional education program consists of 6 academic modules, a common final exam, which we call the CFE, and 30 months of practical work experience. In this session, we won't be sharing in-depth information on the PEP content or schedule. If you're interested in learning more about the benefits of the CPA designation or are not familiar with PEP and would like to learn more about the format, I'd encourage you to join one of our virtual or in-person information sessions to learn more. You can find more information on our upcoming sessions on our website under the Future Students tab in the Information Sessions section. To be eligible to begin the CPA Professional Education Program, we assess 2 criteria: a recognized 120 credit hour degree and 14 specific business and accounting courses. Many of you will likely meet the degree requirement automatically when you complete your undergraduate degree. To meet this requirement, your degree doesn't necessarily need to be in accounting. So if you majored in a different field such as international business, economics, or even completed a degree in a completely different field such as engineering, arts, or health sciences, that's perfectly okay. If you're currently in the process of completing a diploma and haven't completed a degree, we'd encourage you to watch our So You Don't Have a Degree and Want to Be a CPA video for more information on the pathways that are available to you. Our second admission requirement for PEP is that you've completed our 14 prerequisite courses. Of the 14 prerequisite courses, we divide them into core and non-core requirements. When you apply to us, we'll review your coursework that you've previously taken to determine whether you meet these prerequisites. The 5 non-core courses are general business courses that many of you may have taken when you completed your degree. To be exempt from these courses, you need to have received a minimum grade of 50%. These classes never expire, so for those of you who may be currently completing a master's degree and whose undergraduate coursework was taken a while back, you can still be eligible to receive credit for these courses. The 9 core courses are more accounting-focused classes. These classes contain the foundational knowledge it'll take to be successful in PEP later on. To be granted an exemption from these courses, you need to achieve at least a grade of 60% and an overall average of 65% or higher. For schools using a letter grade scale, 60% is typically a C-, but you should double check with your institution to be sure. These core courses must have been completed in the last 10 years. So for those of you who are currently completing your master's or postgraduate program, you may want to keep an eye out on when you took your undergraduate courses and reach out to connect with your student recruitment advisor to discuss your options if your courses are nearing their expiration. We recognize that your post-secondary institution may not call these courses the same name that we do. So to help you plan out your courses and make sure that you're completing as many as possible while you complete your degree, we've created a transfer credit guide that is a great reference tool. To find our transfer credit guides, you'll need to navigate to our webpage, cpaatlantic.ca. From the homepage, you'll need to click on Future Students, then How to Become a CPA. This page will show you more information on the eligibility requirements that we just discussed. If you scroll down the page, partway down you'll see a blue and white box that says Review Our Transfer Credit Guides, which you'll need to click on. This will bring you to a separate page where you'll be able to see all our transfer credit guides for institutions located in Atlantic Canada and Bermuda. Simply click on the province name to view the guide. As you'll notice, for some courses there are more than one course code listed, so you may need to complete 2 or 3 university-level courses to be granted the full exemption. This will often be the case for courses such as taxation and performance management. For where it lists a course code and says "or," you can take either of these courses to meet the requirement. If you're taking a program at one of the universities that is not listed on our transfer credit guide, your coursework may still count towards exemptions from the prerequisite courses. However, it will need to be evaluated on a case-by-case basis once you submit your eligibility request form to us. To help with your planning, we'd encourage you to connect with your academic advisor or registrar at your institution, as they may be able to tell you if the course you're taking is cross-listed with one of our pre-approved courses. If you're taking courses at a non-recognized institution, such as Eastern College, Kean College, Maritime Business College, or so on, unfortunately, your coursework will not be eligible for exemptions from the prerequisite courses, as exemptions from academic prerequisites can only be awarded based on degree credit courses. If you're planning on moving to Atlantic Canada or Bermuda after you complete your degree but are currently studying in another province, not to worry, CPA Atlantic School of Business can still recognize your coursework. The bottom tab under the transfer credit guides will show some common institutions outside of Atlantic Canada, such as Toulouse and Athabasca University. However, if you scroll further down the page, you'll see the transfer credit guides for the other provinces in Canada. We'll honor any of the exemptions posted on these other guides. We'd encourage you to check these guides throughout your time completing your degree, because even for students completing accounting degrees, sometimes these courses are not automatically built into your mandatory requirements at your university and would need to be chosen as an elective. If you're completing an undergraduate degree internationally, we'll evaluate your coursework for exemptions on a case-by-case basis once you've submitted an eligibility request form with us. Please keep in mind that you likely won't receive exemptions for business law or taxation, as these courses contain country-specific content and don't have an international equivalent. Please keep in mind that you also do have to be physically present in Canada to begin our programs. For more information on pathways and your application process, I'd encourage you to watch our other video so you completed your degree outside of Canada and want to be a CPA. Although you do require an undergraduate degree for admission, we can still look at coursework completed in graduate level diplomas and degrees for further exemptions. If after checking our transfer credit guides you realize that you're missing some courses or some courses aren't offered at your institution, not to worry. We offer all the prerequisite courses through our preparatory course program, which we refer to as PREP. These courses are offered part-time online with an in-person final exam. The format for the courses is slightly different depending on whether it's a non-core or a core course. The non-core courses are open registration courses, so once you receive your eligibility assessment results from us, you can enroll and begin as soon as you like. At the time that you enroll in these courses, you can select one of 5 exams that are offered per year. So if you're hoping to complete them as soon as possible, you can select the next available exam, or if you want to give yourself extra time with the material, you can select one that's further in the future. These courses are offered in a self-study format and typically take about 200 hours of study time to complete. The core courses are offered in a format that may be more similar to the courses that you're used to taking at your post-secondary institution. They have a 7-week semester comprising of 6 weeks of learning material, with a weekly schedule and the final exam in the 7th week. As these courses are highly condensed, they typically require approximately 20 hours of study time per week. As this is a significant workload, we'd encourage you to fully complete your degree before beginning any preparatory courses with us. Of course, you're also welcome to take these prerequisite courses at another post-secondary institution. If you choose to do this, please ensure you check our transfer credit guides to make sure that the courses you are taking will meet the prerequisites. The first step in beginning your studies with us, whether PREP or PEP, is to submit an eligibility request form, or ERF, which can be found on our website. But you may be wondering when you should get started on that process and when you should be applying. PEP has 4 intakes per year, so you have multiple options available depending on when you'll be completing your degree, and depending on whether you'd like to take a break before beginning your studies with us. These 4 intakes typically fall in January, April, July, and October. You can view the registration deadlines and start dates for our upcoming semesters on our website by clicking into Student Resources, CPA Professional Education Program, and then either scrolling down the page or clicking Fees and Schedules as shown on the screen. If you've already secured a job after your graduation, your employer may have a preference regarding when you start your CPA studies, so I'd encourage you to connect with them directly for their recommendations. That being said, from our school's perspective, you do have multiple options available for when you can begin. You can plan to take some time off after you complete your degree, whether that's one semester, a year, or more. Alternatively, you can line it up so you can begin your CPA studies right after you complete your degree. When you apply to us will vary depending on whether you're taking time off or not, but one important thing to keep in mind is that from the time you receive your documents and payment, our eligibility assessment process typically takes between 4 to 6 weeks if you studied in Canada, or 6 to 8 weeks if you've studied outside of Canada. So please ensure that you are applying at least that far in advance of the registration deadline for the semester you wish to begin in. If you're planning on starting your CPA studies directly after you finish your degree, this means that you'll often be applying when you're in your final semester. There are a few things to consider when choosing your time to start. If you're finishing your courses in April and are planning on starting your CPA studies in the spring intake, please keep in mind that for some institutions, the final grade release date may occur in May, after our April courses start. I'd encourage you to take a look at your institution's academic calendar to see if you will have your final grades in time. If not, please connect with your student recruitment advisor to discuss what verification may be needed for you to begin your studies in the spring intake. Another consideration if you're planning on starting your courses during the summer intake and are planning to start a new job in the fall is when your exam dates will fall. I'd encourage you to take a look at our course schedule to check when the final exam falls. In general, many of our summer final exams will be in late September, so if your new position starts around that time, you may not have as much time to focus on and study for your finals. Alternatively, if you choose to start in the fall, you may have to juggle a new position and new studies at the same time. Please keep in mind that even if you're offered a job in a CPA stream at your workplace, you'll still have to go through that eligibility request process with us, as your work won't be able to enroll you in the courses on your behalf. So as mentioned, please make sure you're beginning the process with us well in advance of when you're hoping to commence your studies. When you submit an eligibility request form, it will go directly to your regional student recruitment advisor, who will process it, assign you a student ID, and follow up to let you know what documents will require to process your evaluation. If you've already graduated and your degree has been conferred when you apply, your advisor will share information on having your official transcript sent to us directly from your university. If your university uses MyCreds and you create a PIN, please make sure you also share your PIN with us. If you haven't yet received your final grades in your courses or your degree hasn't been conferred, no need to order your official transcript until after it has been. In these cases, we would be issuing you a conditional offer of admission that would be confirmed once we receive your updated transcript with your final grades. Whether you have your final grades or not, we will still always request that you email us an unofficial copy of your transcript so that we can begin your evaluation while we await the arrival of your official transcript from your university. Some of you may have completed co-ops as part of your degree or may have previous accounting-related work experience. You may be able to capture 12 months of your prior work experience to count towards your 30-month practical experience requirement. At the time of your application, we actually don't require any work experience related documents. Once you begin Core 1 in PEP, you'll be granted access to our Practical Experience Reporting tool, which we call PERT. Once you have access to PERT, you can report on your previous experience. As we recognize that some time may have passed since you held the position, we'd encourage you to hold on to some of your previous job descriptions and maintain contact with the supervisor at your former company, as it may help you with remembering and reporting on your role later on. Not to worry if you don't have any previous accounting-related work experience, it's not mandatory for admission. So, what are your next steps? Your first step to getting started is to complete an eligibility assessment to see what courses you may have possible exemptions from and where you can begin your unique CPA pathway. The eligibility assessment form can be found on our website. Please remember to submit your request form at least 4 to 6 weeks in advance if you've completed all your education in Canada, or 6 to 8 weeks in advance if you've completed your education internationally. If you're planning on starting your CPA studies immediately after you finish your degree, this will mean that you'll need to apply when you're in your final semester of courses. Of course, you can always talk to your student recruitment advisor about what courses you need in your final semesters to be eligible for PEP. We are more than happy to discuss your pathway and make sure you're on track. We can also answer any questions that you have regarding admission requirements, PEP, PREP, so please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd also encourage you to follow us on social media, as your regional student recruitment advisor may be visiting your post-secondary institution in person in the near future, and they would be more than happy to see you in person. Thank you again for watching our video today, and we look forward to connecting with you in the future.